supposed to give you the observational evidence for my model, and I completely forgot. I'm way too retarded to do this. Anyway, no, you wait. I have to put in the observational evidence. The Hubble telescope was asked to look at the Lyman alpha forest between 3C273 and ourselves. 3C273 is a quasar, and it's close enough to us so that its ultraviolet light reaches us in the ultraviolet and can't come to the atmosphere. So since the Hubble telescope is outside of the atmosphere, they asked it, please look at the 3C273 and see if there are any clouds of hydrogen between us and it. Now, if there are clouds of hydrogen running away at different speeds, then each cloud will put a dark line in the spectrum, you see, and then you have a whole flock of dark lines in the spectrum. That's called the Lyman alpha forest. So there is a forest in there. There are between 9 and 12, Hubble telescope says there are between 9 and 12 clouds of hydrogen between 3C273 and ourselves. Now, according to the Big Bang, there are not any clouds of hydrogen between 3C273 and ourselves for two reasons. First, there's no way to put any new hydrogen in there, and secondly, there is no way for clouds of hydrogen to have hung around in there for 15 billion years without condensing into something we could see. That's an observational evidence that there really is something recycling from the border. Now there's another evidence. The Hubble telescope was asked to look at the intergalactic void. You know, the bigger the scale we went to, the more lumpy the universe is. Now the Big Bang would like to have it just lumpy with respect to stars and less lumpy with respect to star clusters and less lumpy still with respect to galaxies. But it went all the wrong way for them. The biggest scale that we looked at, we have the universe in the most lumpy state that we can count. And so the Hubble telescope was asked to look at those intergalactic voids. And it says that there's more hydrogen in those intergalactic voids than is needed to make all the known galaxies. Now the other evidence is that the expansion rate is not slowing down. The Big Bang models require that the expansion rate should slow down because all of the energy is put in at the beginning. Even though they threw it in by hand, they threw it in at the beginning and not all the way through. And so the gravity is pulling back on it, and the expansion rate has to slow down. Anyway, that's the dark matter problem. We steady-state people don't have any problem with the dark matter. It can be ordinary matter. Oh, let me do something on that too. I have asked 3 astronomers in the course of 25 years or so, maybe 12 years or so, what proportion of the stuff in a cloud making into a cluster of stars, what proportion of the stuff in the cloud makes it into the stars, and what proportion gets blown away by their stellar winds? Now, the first 2 astronomers that I asked, this is a long time ago, maybe 12 and 14 years ago or something. Neither of them had an immediate answer to that, but they both said about the same thing. They thought that probably between 1 and 10% of the stuff made it into the stars, and between 90 and 99% of the stuff gets blown away by the stellar wind. Now, the last astronomer I asked was at Caltech, and he said, he has a number right now. He has a number right now. He says 95% gets blown away, and in some cases more, and in some cases less. So we're all in the same ballpark, okay? We're all in the same ballpark. So